Yes, my people, welcome back to AFTV. We are down here at St Mary's Stadium a few days early to give you a predicted 11 for what we think we're going to see this Saturday against Southampton. But first, obviously, it's going to be a big topic. Let's talk about what we both want to see, because obviously, from our last performance, Lokonga going in the midfield by himself, in the defensive midfield by himself, kind of being overran in there and being kind of fed to the Sharks. Xhaka going left back, Lacazette starting. Arteta got it wrong. In my opinion, Arteta got it massively wrong. So let's discuss first what we want to see before we go into what we think we're going to see.
We've been doing these predicted 11 shows for a while now, and they've normally been pretty self-explanatory. You kind of know what you're going to expect. Maybe the odd change, maybe Smith Rowe versus Martinelli, but that's kind of the most you've really had from it. You tended to know what Arteta's going to go with. Now, with Palace, we weren't expecting a Tierney injury. Tavares came in. And then ahead of Brighton, I think it was a little up in the air. But he didn't come out of the Palace game and into the Brighton game with much criticism in terms of his approach. People understood that things changed a bit last minute. He had to deal with that. When it comes to this game, though, we have very clearly seen a plan, a strategy not work against Brighton. So what's going to be very interesting is, does he stick to his guns and go with, back himself and believe that while it didn't work, it will eventually land and stick and work for him?
Have we seen him do that a lot, James? Stick with his guns and his beliefs and not kind of falter towards that and just stick to what he thinks is right, regardless of what everyone else is saying. Because it feels like every time the fans or people have criticism of it and they want to see things like, when I want to see Lacazette and Aubameyang in the same side at one point in the season, he was adamant not to do that. Balogun to get more minutes, he was adamant not to do that. There was loads of things that I think the fans were screaming for, but Arteta was like, no, I'm doing it my way.
I think you've quietly seen him do things over his time at Arsenal that have been criticised, but you win once or twice and then slowly they become the norm.
Yeah.
I'll give you a couple of examples. When he first arrived, he was playing with Maitland-Niles as like an inverted wing back. You know, you're not Pep Guardiola, stop messing around with it, get a proper right back. Brings in Tomiyasu and he thrives in that position, playing out the back. Why always going out the back, go long, blah, blah.
That was a pain at the start.
Do you remember Leno got a lot of criticism last season for always playing that ball into central midfield? We actually conceded a few goals. But you've got to keep practicing it, because eventually you get it right. When you do, you take 3 or 4 men out of the game. Funnily enough, when it was not Leno giving it to Ceballos, but Ramsdale giving it to Partey, you saw what Arteta was trying to do. So he's quietly implemented things like the 4-3-3, like Smith Rowe playing on the left, that have been criticised at times, and now people kind of universally accept it without even realising that they've grown used to it, and once upon a time didn't like it. So I wouldn't be surprised if he completely stuck to his guns. I don't think he will, but I wouldn't be completely surprised either. There's a method to the madness to a degree, but we don't really have long enough for the team to be learning kind of new roles and positions. He's got to go with players in the positions that they suit best. He's got to start backing players that he hasn't over the last couple of games. And he's got to come in and collect 3 points.
100%. Well, I'm going to keep going to what I think I want to see. I'll rattle it off quickly because it hasn't changed from what I want to see against Brighton. 4-2-3-1, back to that formation. Tavares back in. He's got a lot of criticism, a lot of stick.
Can I just cut you? When you say back to that formation, he's not played it since about probably October, November. So it'd be a real comeback. To get Odegaard in the 10, you mean?
Yeah, to get Odegaard back in the 10, put Smith Rowe out on the left, Saka on the right. Actually, no, I'll put Martinelli on the left, Saka on the right, and Martinelli up top. Drop Lacazette. Put Xhaka and El Neni in there for cover and play more of a counter-attacking football. I said that, and I know not everyone wants to hear that. You don't play counter-attacking football against the likes of Southampton, no disrespect to them, all the Brightons at home. But with the injuries we have, I want to see protection and let the youngsters enjoy themselves going forward. So I'd keep Tavares in there, put an arm around him, put him back in there. I think he got a lot of criticism, and unfairly. Yes, he has been dragged a few times, but we forget the performances against Newcastle in the start of the season, the 2-0s, the Leicesters, the Aston Villas where we was winning and he was playing and he was keeping Kieran Tierney out the side, and there was a debate whether, is Kieran Tierney going to walk straight back in? There was that debate. I think Tavares is a good player in him, but I think he just needs to be coached and understand that we don't need your attacking excellence so much for this period of the season. Be more defensive, be more resolute, let the players in front express themselves. So that's kind of what I want to go back to. You made it. What would you want to see? You want to see a 4-3-3? Do you want to see Lokonga back in there?
I think stick with a 4-3-3. A lot of people came out of the Brighton game saying Lokonga can't play as a lone number 6. And listen, I understand he gave the ball away a few times and he's not as good as Thomas Partey in that role. Hell, how long did it take Thomas Partey to learn how to play that role? And he's an experienced, came in as a world class, that was the term being thrown about with Thomas Partey, central midfielder. And I don't think it's as much that he played as the lone six in that game. I think it was more that he didn't have the right players around him in terms of Xhaka for a little bit of cover. Odegaard wasn't in great form. Lacazette coming deep. A lot of what you do as the six relies on the balls you're receiving being right, and the space and the players being in front of you to receive it as well from you. Some of that comes down to the positions you pick up and the movement you. So listen, Lokonga's not blameless for an iffy performance, but let's remember he's barely started as well.
Yeah,
so
100%.
And I like Lokonga, and I think earlier in the season he was playing well alongside Partey when it wasn't on him necessarily to win the ball in those areas. So I would go Ramsdale in goal, Cedric, White, Gabriel, Tavares.
Yeah, so you put Tavares back in, yeah.
I'd go Odegaard, Lokonga and Xhaka.
Right, with two defensive midfielders and Odegaard in the 10, or both of them higher?
I think you've got to be a bit more. We've seen it before where Xhaka, when we've got the ball, gets forward and it's more of a 3, and when he loses it, he gets quite close to Partey. He'll have to do that with Lokonga, I think. We've seen players under Arteta play these hybrid roles, and I think it will have to be a case of when we've got the ball, Xhaka can get high up the pitch in that advanced state role. When he doesn't, when we lose it, and when Southampton has a sustained spell of possession, you have to play quite close to Lokonga and let Odegaard go up and almost make it a 4-4-2 in the press and go and help. Okay. So yeah, it's almost not picking one, but that is that is football these days. I mean, in watching City the last couple of games against Liverpool and Atletico, and they go from a 4-4-2 press shape to a 4-3-3 in possession to a 4-5-1 when they're deep in their half, and that's what modern football's become. So I wouldn't reinvent the wheel massively. Okay. But what I would do is have Saka on the right, Smith Rowe on the left, because I think he naturally comes off the left a bit better, picks up those central positions that are really hard to mark, and allows Tavares to bomb on. And when that does happen, Xhaka then can be a little bit more disciplined as almost a second holding midfielder. And it's about the rotations between Tavares, Smith Rowe and Xhaka. Yeah. It is when Smith Rowe's high and wide, Xhaka's got to get forward to receive the ball and thread him in. But when he doesn't, when he's not getting as high forward, Smith Rowe comes into the space and then Tavares bombs on to provide the width. And they've shown over the season that they can have that understanding. And then Martinelli up front. I've given I've given Lacazette tremendous credit for his work ethic. Yep. I've given him the benefit of the doubt for his Arsenal career as a whole. I don't really think it's all on him. I think he's come at a bad time for the club. And I think he's been a better servant and player for us than most people give him credit for. But at the moment, he's not delivering. So Martinelli up front. Okay, that's my team. We do need to get to what we think Arteta's going to go with. We spent a lot of time on what we would like to see. Yeah. Just quickly, Martinelli up front for you till the rest of the season against the bigger sides, or do you change it? I think this is a trial. This isn't me saying it's Martinelli now. It's a trial. I see why Lacazette has a role to play in the North London derby and away at Stamford Bridge. Right. Okay, I do see why I wanted to question on that just to understand your thinking behind that. All right, let's go into what we think Arteta's going to go with. Will he change? Will he fall to what he did against Brighton? Yeah. Obviously, a lot of people would hope so, but like we started at the beginning of the show saying that, he's very adamant in sticking to what he believes, and subconsciously things start to change and start to work, and he sticks with it, and we might see no change. But let's go into it. Let's start with quickly in goal. Picks itself. I'm sure you're going to go with Ramsdale. Yeah, or we should actually decide the formation as well. That you think that was what was on my mind. I think he'll stick 4-3-3 and Ramsdale will keep his place. I mean, I was about to say a word on Ramsdale. Not that he's not performing brilliantly, but I don't think he's he was standing out, wasn't he, early in the games for his distribution, his kicking, his passing, and he's gone a little under the radar. I think it's always a great thing when goalkeepers go under the radar. But I wonder if maybe what Arsenal have done so well, sometimes go from back to front quite quickly. Yeah. So maybe Ramsdale needs to find his range. Maybe I'm wrong. Listen, that surprises me that you're saying that. I love Aaron Ramsdale, I love Ramsdale. I just wonder, like while we're talking about the position, it just popped in my head, but I've not really paid too much attention to him recently, if I'm honest.
So we'll stick with it. So we'll go with the 4-3-3, which I think Arteta's going to go with. Ramsdale in goal, right back. I'm assuming he's going to stick with Cedric. I don't think Cedric's done too bad. I think he's got a lot of criticism recently as well. But I think he's been fine. He's been resolute. Yes, he had Wilfried Zaha at Salah's pass. I think he actually did an okay job on him, if I'm completely honest. And other tricky wingers that in light of Tomiyasu being out, I think he's stepped up. I think defensively he's sound. We also got to remember his ability on the ball when it comes to dead ball. He's our free kick taker at times. He's also our corner taker. So Cedric, I'm sure, will keep his place. Do you believe he'll keep his place?
I think he will.
No Ben White in the right back position? Oh, what are you stressing for? What's going on?
Because I think he could do any number of wild things, quite frankly.
Arteta.
Let me give you what I think his 11 will be.
All right, go on.
I think it'll go Ramsdale, and it'll go Cedric, White, Gabriel, and Tavares. I think he'll go Odegaard, Lokonga, Xhaka. I think he'll go Martinelli, Nketiah, Saka.
Nketiah?
Yeah, I think he's going to bring Nketiah in, yeah, I do. I think Nketiah made a good impact against Palace. I think he made a good impact against Brighton. He'll want that press from the front. He'll want, I was about to say a goal threat, and I know he's not delivered in the Premier League, but you always feel Nketiah might get a goal. And he definitely looked a threat when he came on against Brighton. I think he might go with Nketiah.
The only thing I would change, I think Arteta will go with is Lacazette for any.
You think he'll stick with it?
Yeah, okay. I think captain, I think he stuck by him in the last performance. I don't know how Lacazette stayed on the pitch for 90 minutes, but he did. And I feel like Arteta really trusts in Lacazette to keep this ticking. I think the whole game plan for Arteta runs through Lacazette dropping deep and bringing in the other players. I really think he's going to be adamant at keeping that. Yeah. We will find out though on Saturday. I mean,
well, listen, he could play White right back, holding centre back, Cedric left back. He could bring Xhaka left back. Part of me thinks Arteta does have that. I want to prove you wrong, which
frustrates me a little bit.
And I kind of get it.
Do you like that from Arteta, or do you think that's a sense of arrogance, or do you think that's a sense of a manager that wants to respect?
Pep Guardiola played Fabian Delph at left back when he won his first title. It worked because they had elite midfielders who held that role.
Yeah.
But Xhaka has been so crucial to our midfield. You're costing us, importance in another position. So, no, I think he'll bring Tavares back. But if he doesn't, then that sends a real message, doesn't it?
Yeah, to Tavares. Well, listen, that's our predicted 11, or what we would like to see, and what we think Arteta's going to go with. Before we wrap up the video, merch. We've got new merch, and look, I like this one, the North Bank.
Yeah, I like this one, the North Bank.
This is available for everyone at shopaftv.co.uk, so make sure you go check it out.
Link in the description, I believe.
Link in the description as well. Go check that out. Go get your merch. We've got loads of new ranges. Make sure you go do that. We've got the hoodies, we've got jumpers, we've got t-shirts. Make sure you check it out. And
the Air Ramsdale one's my favourite.
The Air Ramsdale one's a good design.
Yeah,
it's a good design.
Nice.
I like it. I like
cool,
it. It's my favourite.
Yeah, some cool ones. Go check them out.
Go check it out. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when we uploaded. And hopefully our Arsenal and Arteta can get it right this Saturday and we get those 3 points. Take care.
Shop for AFTV merch at shop.aftv.co.uk. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, and Twitch. We've got content for every platform, so check it out.